57. That's where we meet Jamie Foxx today, an artist who's turned every wound into fuel. A thunderbolt born quiet, the same voice that poured soul into Ray, the will that stared down fate in Collateral, and the fire of Django breaking chains on the big screen. He's one of the rare legends whose gifts cross every border, a comedian who could make a room roar, a singer who could pierce straight to the heart, and an actor whose name rests on both the Oscars and the Grammys. It didn't start with applause. It began with silence. Jamie Foxx entered the world as Eric Marlon Bishop, born December 13, 1967, in Terrell, Texas. His father, Darrell Bishop, who later converted to Islam, drifted from his life. His mother, Louise Annette Talley, wasn't there day to day. At 7 months old, he was taken in by his grandmother, Estelle Marie Talley. Unwavering faith, strict discipline, and a home where pennies stretched and music mattered. She was a nursery school teacher who believed structure could lift a child above circumstance, and she enforced it with steady hands and a piano bench. While boys ran plays on dusty fields, Eric practiced scales until his fingers ached. The piano was both prison and pathway, a weight of expectation and a doorway to possibility. Birthdays came without a mother's embrace. School performances ended without a father's clap. He learned early that humor could be armor. "I told jokes so people wouldn't see the loneliness," he would admit later. By the late 1970s, America had changed, but Terrell's lanes were still narrow for a young black kid. Estelle kept him clothed, fed, educated. The church gave him gospel. The keys taught him precision. Discipline hardened into resilience, and the laughter he used as a shield became a craft. College took him to United States International University in San Diego to study classical composition. Yet inside, he craved something wilder, the voltage of a crowd, the freedom to spin pain into performance. Los Angeles comedy clubs were battlegrounds, long lines, impatient rooms, ruthless silence. Women were often called first, men waited. So Eric reintroduced himself to the mic as Jamie Foxx, a clever, androgynous name that might get him on stage faster. It wasn't a gimmick. It was survival. Bomb one night, kill the next. That was the grind. He learned to fight the silence with timing, courage, and the posture his grandmother demanded. Sit up. Practice till it hurts. Never give less than everything. The kid who once played Beethoven alone now performed symphonies of survival and punchlines. Breakthrough arrived in 1991 with In Living Color, outrageous characters, razor timing, millions laughing with him instead of a few drunks in a back room. From 1996-2001, The Jamie Foxx Show proved he could carry a series. But Hollywood kept stamping him comedian. Jamie wanted the room where dramatic roles lived. In 2004, he didn't just walk into that room. He owned it. He vanished into Ray Charles in Ray and swept the Academy Award, Golden Globe, and BAFTA. The same year, Collateral earned him another Oscar nomination. 2 nominations in 1 year, a near mythic feat. Yet triumph can weigh as much as obscurity. In the quiet after the ceremony, the statue felt heavy and the question louder. Could he ever top Ray? Then came the sting. Stealth carried a budget around $135 million and crawled to roughly $79 million worldwide, nearly $60 million lost. Years earlier, Bait cost $51 million and made only about $15 million. Whispers rose. Was the Oscar a fluke? Jamie refused that narrative. He pressed forward, ferocious in Dreamgirls, righteous in Django Unchained, unsettling in Baby Driver, and dignified in Just Mercy. Music thrived, too, a Grammy for Blame It, and the hook that helped launch Gold Digger into an anthem. Still, fame is a treadmill you can't step off. Expectation turns into a chain called perfection. He once said the applause can fill arenas, but not the emptiness at home. Home for Jamie was complicated. In the early 1990s, with Connie Klein, he found something tender and private. In 1994, their daughter, Corinne, was born, a moment that anchored him more than any standing ovation. The romance faded without scandal, but fatherhood endured. He showed up for birthdays, recitals, the quiet in-between moments. Years later, their red carpet walks would say, "What words didn't? Persistence built that bond." In 2008, with Kristen Grannis, he welcomed his second daughter, Annalise. It felt like another chance at a complete home. But fear lingers when you've been left as a child. He feared marriage might collapse and scar his kids. In trying to protect them from that, he created a different fracture, a house that couldn't stay whole. Even so, he refused to repeat abandonment. Sidelines at games, seats at recitals, songs at the piano, Annalise would say, "My father was always there." Then came the high-wire romance. 2013 began the whispers of Jamie Foxx and Katie Holmes. 6 years of secrecy, hopeful fragments stitched in the dark. In May 2019, at the Met Gala, they finally stepped into the light, shoes dyed to match her lavender, hands clasped as flashbulbs exploded. By August 2019, it was over. Lifestyles, pressure, rumors, the glass house shattered. For a man who wanted permanence, the loss cut deep. Health rewrote the script in April 2023. On the set of Back in Action in Atlanta, Jamie suffered a serious, sudden medical complication. The world only knew he'd been rushed to the hospital. He later spoke of nearly 3 weeks gone, 20 days erased from memory, of a tunnel he wasn't ready to enter. Rumors flew: paralysis, blindness, death. Inside those walls, his family prayed. Machines breathed. Progress came painfully slow. First steps like warfare, voice returning in cracks. Then the moment that undid him, fingers on keys, clumsy, then music. Not pain, tears of recognition, he was still himself. In the aftermath, a quiet romance seemed to steady him. With Alice Huckstep, photos caught easy strolls and gentler smiles. But as 2024 turned toward 2025, differences widened. She wanted quiet. He still burned to perform. By January 2025, reports said they'd parted. "I survived death," he confided privately, "but I couldn't survive love." It wasn't just heartbreak. It was the loss of the permanence he kept chasing. Grief didn't wait its turn. In October 2020, his beloved sister, Deandra Dixon, passed at 36. She'd been his joy, his compass. Fearless on red carpets, pure light. He honored her by championing programs for people with Down syndrome. In September 2023, his close friend Keith Jefferson died after a cancer battle. Jamie's tribute bled on the page. "Brother, laughter forever." Survival doesn't make you immune to loss. Sometimes it makes the ache sharper. Fame magnifies stumbles too. In 2003, a New Orleans casino confrontation ended in fines and a suspended sentence. Headlines screaming louder than facts. In 2024, a Beverly Hills scuffle left him with a cut lip and stitches, no weapons, no arrests, but plenty of speculation. He learned that composure isn't just survival, it's dignity. Today, at 57, Jamie lives in Hidden Valley, California, rolling hills, a home that once symbolized success and now stands for refuge. A studio where he still plays, a rehab space by the pool where sweat and discipline rebuild what nearly vanished. His portfolio is layered: film, TV, music, production, real estate, net worth estimates in the hundreds of millions, though he measures wealth in mornings now. "Money buys comfort," he says. "Waking up to see the sun, that's wealth." Family remains the axis. Corinne works with him on Beat Shazam. The show carried through 2024 into 2025. Annalise keeps music close and her dad closer. Professionally, the lights are on. His reunion with Cameron Diaz in Back in Action marked a comeback. Tin Soldier is set to test his intensity. A December 2024 Netflix special, What Had Happened Was, let him narrate the near-death chapter in his own voice. Some scars don't fade. 20 days missing, a reminder that life can blink. He moves slower, laughs with a tremor, speaks with more gravity. But every word now carries weight. In September 2024, he walked Corinne down the aisle, each step a victory lap. Against the shadow that tried to keep him from that dance, he gives more quietly. Now, multi-million-dollar commitments whispered into causes that honor Deandra and Keith. Not legacy polishing, remembrance. Proof that grief can become a tool for healing, and so here he stands, scarred, unbroken, still creating. Not defined by trophies or headlines, but by the stubborn courage to rise after each fall, to face the silence after the spotlight, to keep showing up for the people who call him Dad. If his art ever touched your soul, honor him with a like, a small tribute to a man who turned the edge of death into strength and light.